I've been trying to find a subject for a video for some time. Nothing has popped out to me, and I find it difficult to find things to make fun of at times. I just don't Google very well. The subject I was going to cover was going to be Nassim Aghdam, the YouTube shooter, but the information surrounding that is difficult to find. So I may put that off for a later date, when more videos are brought back from the purge YouTube and Google did to her. You may wonder then, what is the topic for today, Max? Well, it's a large one, and by large I mean obese. We're going to cover Sofie Hagen. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this whale of a person, then you're in the right place, because we're going to cover as much as I can find, which will probably be quite a bit. Trigger warning to those of you who are sensitive. There will be fat jokes, many of them, because this woman deserves to be ridiculed. On the screen now is a picture of our little cupcake. Lovely, isn't she? The absolute embodiment of where we have gone wrong as a society. Sofie Hagen often promotes body positivity and fat acceptance. Now, before we go on, I should make something clear. If you're slightly overweight, or a little on the heavier side, I don't have a problem with you. According to some scales, I'm about 4 pounds overweight. But I don't let myself forget it. Nor should you. If you are overweight, you should punish yourself to an extent. This punishing ensures you won't become obese and die of heart disease. You can live a full and happy life while being slightly over the line. However, if you're above, I don't know, let's say 220 pounds, and can't attribute that to muscle mass, you have a problem, and need to address it. If you recognize that you are fat and to an unhealthy standard, and that being this way will lower your life expectancy, and don't expect anyone to bend to your needs because of it, then I don't care. I don't have a problem with you, or not much. I will look at you with disgust. But at least you aren't trying to convince the world you're healthy. If you are obese, however, and you do say you're healthy, and you do say that the world should bend to your needs, then I do have a problem with you. You are disgusting, and you don't deserve anything from me. You don't deserve anything from anyone. You put yourself in the place you are, and you deserve no sympathy. You see, that's the great thing about obese people. There is no way you can blame anyone other than yourself. It's always possible to skip that trip to McDonald's, to walk around your neighborhood, or to take a stroll in the park. There is no excuse to being that obese. I digress. Let's continue to the subject matter. Much of what I learned about Sofie Hagen is from this very video, and I learned that she is a stand-up comedian from Denmark. Now, we won't delve too much into her career here, because that's a low blow, but I do want to show you this one short clip, and I want you to take special note of how the audience reacts when she says the punchline.
Okay, so I'm gonna start by mentioning I'm not from your country. I'm from Denmark, and basically the first thing that happened when I moved here was that one of your people, a British man, he flirted with me. Thank you. And in the process of him flirting with me, I learned a whole new word, because he came up to me and said, "Hello, I am a bit of a chubby chaser."
You can tell some of them are only chuckling because they're at a comedy show and it's what you're supposed to do. It feels quite awkward for all of them, really. I will say this, however, immediately following that part of the clip, she does say a chuckle-worthy joke about how she doesn't run. Now, Sofie has been quite a popular topic for a little while, since I'd say back in February, when she decided to take to Twitter, mashing her chubby fingers onto the screen of her phone in anger. Anger, which I'm sure got her heart rate going faster, attempting to break through the plaque that's built up in her arteries. She's decided to stand to the one thing fat people can't fight. Science. Statistical facts and analyses that prove that being obese kills you. What a crime. What a terrible thing these researchers are doing. Trying to help people prolong their lives, make their lives more comfortable by addressing critical issues in our society. How dare they? You see, the Cancer Research UK put out some adverts. This advert in particular fired Sofie up. Now, I'm not too good at fill in the blank, but I get a pretty good idea of what this is trying to say, particularly here. Obesity is the cause of cancer, is the advert they put out, which made Sofie Hagen irate. Fuming with anger, her autismus came out full force upon seeing this, and she went on a tirade, absolutely enamored with the fact that they could do something like this. Now, how could this happen? I thought the UK was thoroughly cucked. I'm honestly surprised this ad was allowed, but it is factually accurate. You see, the cancer's research team did a lot of digging and compared many studies that prove obesity can cause cancer. My favorite part comes here when Sofie states, "There is no excuse for you to have this campaign up." Well, Miss Hagen, I must say, I disagree. Obesity is an epidemic sweeping the first world. After all, the Cancer Research Twitter account directly responded to you, citing that obesity is the second biggest preventable cause of cancers after smoking. And don't you want a comfortable life? Don't you want those around you to be able to lie down on a couch without fighting against pounds and pounds of fat, suffocating them? Don't you want people to go outside and walk? What's so bad about this, Sofie? Why is there no excuse to want people to be happy and comfortable and not die 20 years earlier than they should? Here's another line from our dear Sofie I almost skipped over. Dieting has been proved time and time again to be one of the worst things you can do to your body. Your campaign is so damaging and fat-shaming, and I really hope it gets taken down. Can you please cite your sources, Sofie? I will agree that dieting, to an extent, can be bad for you. If you do it improperly, you can suffer from it. However, I'm sure you didn't look at ways to diet appropriately to ensure that it doesn't affect you negatively, because you know that would go against what you're trying to say. You see, if you eat healthy and have properly portioned meals, dieting is good for you. Dieting doesn't mean you stop eating. It means you change the way you eat, the what you eat. This is the proper way to do it. Instead of having 3 cheeseburgers for dinner, you should stick to a proper salad with a hard-boiled egg or 2. Maybe some fish and some veggies. Have an apple instead of a donut. I believe you've gone to the furthest end of dieting that you could. You believe that to diet, you must only intake 200 calories a day and live as such. But you're wrong, Sofie. You simply have to change what you eat. If you really want to lose weight, then a caloric deficit is good. To lose fat the fastest, you eat less than what you put out. Don't go killing yourself doing this, of course. Look up guides and meal plans. It's quite easy if you put in some effort. What am I talking about? Look at those chins. You've never put effort into anything. The last line of this article from Sofie is, "I am not buying into fat being unhealthy. It's not inherently unhealthy, and even if it was, fat people can do whatever the fuck they want with their health. But if I did pretend to accept this, your arguments are still fucked up. I said in the beginning of this script that yes, people can do what they want, and fat people can be fat. But you see, Sophie, you've made the sin of telling research centers that they can't warn others that being fat is bad, that other people shouldn't try to avoid a painful life and a painful death, along with uncomfortableness. You are pushing a narrative that states being fat isn't inherently unhealthy. This is a lie. You are pushing an agenda that is killing people, and you should feel ashamed. This would be as if I said, oh yeah, just put the gun up to your head and pull the trigger. You see, the trigger pull doesn't kill you inherently. I mean, whatever happens after you pull the trigger it's just circumstance. But the initial trigger pull, nope, that does not kill you. You see how stupid that line of reasoning is? You pull the trigger and you die. You eat a shit ton of junk food and you die. Arguably, one is a lot more slow and painful, however. Which is what we're trying to avoid, is that slow, painful, agonizing death. We want people to live comfortably. We want people to live happily. We don't want them to die choking on their own bodies. I'm sure all of you watching may be wondering, wait a minute, why are we looking at an article talking about tweets she's made? Why didn't you just go to the source itself? Twitter. Well, my dear viewer, that's because of this. That's right. She couldn't take the criticism. She blocked 500,000 people. Oh, my apologies. Nazis. Man, that's a lot of Nazis.
No! Please help me! Please!
I'm sure that can't be right. You would think that if it took blocking 500,000 people, telling you that you're wrong, you would stop to think for a second and say, am I wrong? This is a lot of people who are disagreeing with me. An overwhelming number of people, really. Could fat be bad? No, they're just Nazis. It is strange, though. If I look up Sofie Hagen, while I can't go to her Twitter page and look at her posts there, I can still see all of her posts from the search itself. Twitter, you might want to work on that system a little. Now, it's tough to dig through all of the fat shaming posts that are made towards her, but it's worth it. I found this juicy Kickstarter project that she posted. Now, can you guess what this All Go app will be designed to do? I want you to imagine something for me. You can make an app that would tell people what healthy options are at restaurants. You could make an app that would notify someone to pick up a healthy option when it realizes that you're at a food joint. You could do something that would have a positive impact. But we can't do that, can we? That's practically fat shaming by itself. So instead, an app should be made that steals the idea of Yelp and turns it into a fat acceptance rating system. That's right. This app is designed so that you rate a place you've been and tell people whether it's nice to fat people or not. I just want to point this one little gem right here. Do you see that? Do you really think that part of the app is gonna get much use? Do you really? Now, I'm not saying to do anything to these courageous and wonderful people making this app, but the link will be below if you feel a need to donate to them and make their dream a reality. You'll have to excuse me for that last bit there, that last section. I was having a hard time keeping it together. Let's finish. Being fat is not okay. It should not be glorified, nor should it be accepted. If you are obese, you should be chastised. You should be mocked. I hope you find this video, and I hope it makes you feel bad. I hope it makes you feel so bad that you decide to pick up carrots instead of ice cream. That you decide to go for a walk in the park. I hope that you go out and get healthy. I truly do. I don't want to make fun of fat people because they are fat, but because I want them to get better. Everyone deserves to be happy and have a long life where you are able to walk more than 5 feet without catching your breath, or where you don't have heart attacks every week. It's a great way to be happy and to live a long life. Everyone deserves this. We are born into these bodies. We just have to take care of them. Just a quick end note, I will be gone all of next week until the 15th of April, so this will be my last video until then, at the very least. I will look for subjects to cover while I'm gone, but I won't make any promises. Hopefully by that Tuesday or Wednesday, I will be able to get another video out to you kind folks, but until then, sayonara.
Well, if that hasn't got Oscar written all over it, I'll eat my invitation to the award ceremony.